So let's start with one of the biggest mistakes that I see from a lot of my students.
And it brings back painful memories.
So in this hand, there is an under the gun limp and the hijack limps as well. And now here we are with ace five suited on the button. So you chose to raise to 15, which I do like the size, and we are on the button, and that is okay. Just to consider, this is actually a hand where I don't mind just limping behind because we have position. It's a great multi-way hand. As played, the big blind calls and the under the gun player calls and also the hijack calls. So you see, this is kind of a little bit of the problem if you raise and now you get called by everyone. This is now a situation where you'll only make money if you hit big, but you could have done the same by paying $2 and now you've paid $15 in this case. But this is not the mistake yet. So the flop is pretty good, 8-8-6 with two spades. We have ace-5 of spades. It checks to us, and I think here in this case I really like checking, which is what you did. Take your equity. It's very difficult to get all three players to fold, so I'm totally on board with this. And then look at this. We have a flush here, and it checks again to us, and at this point looks like no one's got a lot unless they're trapping, but we still have to try to get some money into the pot. We're not going to slow play this one, so definitely starting to build the pot. But as it happens, two players fold, and now this player that you labeled as a trying reg raises you here. So already I would have my alarm bells ringing. At this point, let's just quickly range this player. When he does this, what does he usually have? Well, for value, that is a flush or a boat. I don't really think it's an eight, although I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I don't think it's an eight because he wouldn't check raise now that the flush comes in normally. Normally, yes, maybe the ace of spades, but we have that, so can't be that one. Against that raise, all we can do is call here, and this is what you did. 211 in the middle, 510 behind, and guess what's happening? The hijack shoves. Well, right, so let's go back to the ranging that we just did. A lower flush, a boat, an eight, or a complete bluff. I do not think an eight shoves this river. I do not think that a lower flush shoves this river either on a paired board. That leaves bluffs and boats. So, what is our hand here? Our hand is a bluff catcher. We do not beat any of the values. So we beat his bluffs, but we do not beat his boats. In this case, on the river, in a multi-way pot at a 1-2, this spot is extremely underbluffed. I do not see how he can ever really have a bluff in this spot. So even though we have the nut flush, to me, this is definitely a fold. And yes, you mentioned the painful memories because you called and you got shown a boat here.
You can see that we're playing pretty deep. Maybe a round or two earlier, I had actually stacked him pre-flop. In this particular hand, my thought process here was he is capable, but going back through it, I really don't like the call here. Yes, he's capable, but it's under bluff.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The spot that's under bluff doesn't mean that it's never bluffed. And for this amount, even though you had this other experience with him, this is just extremely under bluffed. Okay, so leak number one that I just saw is overvaluing hands and in conjunction to just not really being tuned in when someone bets really big in a spot that is extremely under bluffed.
We do these sorts of hand breakdowns every week as part of my coaching program, so if you're serious about fixing your leaks for good, book a free leak finder call with me and my team. It's the same process I've used to help dozens of players turn their game around and finally beat the live low stakes consistently. Book a call to see if you're a good fit for our next opening cohort. Click the link below to find out more.